Alright people, let's get into it.
Wings howling.
Yo, I'm making a video deep diving through the lore, asking the big one is Witcher 4, the hype or just folklore. Got Ciri in the spotlight, magic in her veins, Unreal Engine 5 and no more Geralt swinging in the rain. We waited years for the silence and leaks, CDPR back again, fans reaching peak. Ciri's front and center, swords in the air, blink dashing baddies with style and flair. Goodbye Geralt, take a bow, your saga's done, enjoy your cow. Seriously, he deserves it. Now it's portals and prophecy, wild magic storms. A brand new Witcher, but still in classic form.
Yeah, that's not the end of it, but let's keep going. Today we're going to be talking about Witcher 4. I know this is not news to many of you, if you haven't, unless you've been living under a rock. This is not news, but it's officially being announced, and we know that Ciri is the main protagonist moving forward for a new saga of Witcher. And yeah, it's locked in, it's confirmed, and there's no doubt about that, no more guessing. And we also recently got an Unreal Engine 5 tech demo, which is technically not the game. It's just showing off new technology in Unreal Engine 5 that could potentially be used in the game. And those visuals looked absolutely insane. It felt like if I was running that on my GPU, it could cry.
Oh my god!
Today I thought we will hang out for a bit, talk about everything we actually know about Witcher 4 so far, the Ciri angle, how her powers could work, and the new tech behind all of this and what could go sideways, and why this hype is so real for this game at the moment. And don't stress, if you haven't played this game, I'm talking about the older Witcher games or even Witcher 3. If you haven't played Witcher 3, please go play it. It's pretty cheap right now and it's well worth your money. Don't worry if you haven't played it. I will be explaining stuff as I go, and no need to pretend you finished all the Witcher 3 side quests. I know I have not finished all the Gwent tournaments. If you have, good for you. There's a lot of noise online, people speculating, guessing and doing hot takes, but we're going to break it all down in a chill way. No gatekeeping, no low dumps, just the stuff that actually matter, just real talk about what to expect when you're walking into this game when it launches. I know it's a while away, but we're going to talk about it. Plus, there's still a few juicy mysteries CDPR is keeping under wraps. Could there be a dual protagonist system? Are we getting multiple endings again? Most likely, but maybe not. We don't know. Let's dig into that. So let's go.
Form. Witcher 4 isn't born in the name. New saga rising, but will it change the game? Is it glory or just glitter and lights? Surrounding through camp morning, searching for the hype. Oh, Witcher 4, you got up tight. Don't break our hearts like Cyberpunk did that time. Chain whips, crack signs fly from her hands. Ciri's not playing, she's taking command. No damsel here, she's chaos and grace, with scars from the hunt and stars to chase.
What's happening?
Crafting so good might melt your face. Lighting so real, NPCs know the place. The tech looks wild, the scope looks fast, but will the story hit like Witcher 3's past? Will the quests have weight? Will the choices sting? Or is it just flesh with no heart underneath the thing? We're hoping for blood, fire love that runs deep, and not another open world that just puts us to sleep.
Alright, so here's a quick backstory for all of you who hasn't not played Witcher 3 or in need of a refresher. In the old games, you played as Geralt of Rivia, who's a legendary dude with, silver hair and a voice like he had some sand to it or gravel.
Wings howling.
And a broken moral compass that constantly needed calibrating.
Sounds dangerous.
I would say. Ciri, Geralt's adopted daughter, it really is the wild card in especially the Wild Hunt, which is really the Wild Hunt, and she got Elder Blood, which basically gives her dimension hopping, time skipping, blink dashing superpower. She's ridiculously strong. In Witcher 3, she was playable in a few key moments that kind of felt like you were suddenly in a really overpowered anime fight. You were playing as Ciri every time Geralt in the story is following on her footsteps because she's missing. He's trying to find her. Whenever she come across a person who knows about her, and then they explain what happened, what they witnessed, we play that as a flashback as Ciri. So that's kind of what happens until towards the end. In those moments, she was really overpowered and had a very fast-paced, different playstyle to Geralt, obviously. And with her being able to, wield magic a lot more than Geralt, it was completely different, and it felt like she was way overpowered for what we were playing with Geralt. Now, CD Projekt Red has officially confirmed, not just hinted, that Ciri is the main character in Witcher 4, and moving forward in the next saga of Witcher, which is probably going to be like 3 other games, including Witcher 4, much like the first 3 games focusing on Geralt, this would be Ciri's story, right? And the trailer is showing her older, a little bit older, certainly grown up, rocking new gear and looking ready to mess shit up, right? We can safely assume that she's definitely a lot more matured as a character in this game. No longer, the runaway little kid, being chased or hidden by the wild hunt. She's stepping into her own role as a full-blown Witcher now. Think Geralt attitude mixed with her own chaotic teleporting flair, which is what we can expect. If you're wondering why she's taking over after Geralt, narratively, it just makes a lot of sense. She's connected to the larger cosmic stuff going on, has tied to the wild hunt, and she's already been through enough character development throughout Geralt's storyline, which can easily, let her carry her own saga moving on. So this is very natural next step in the Witcher series, I feel. Not everybody would agree with me. I know there are a lot of people who has an issue with, Witcher being a girl. It's not a dude anymore, and Witchers cannot be a girl and all that. However, if you finish Witcher 3, one of the endings, the most common ending, I think, is the one where Ciri actually becomes a Witcher, and Geralt passes down his mantle to her, and he basically retires to Toussaint. That's what happens. And this is kind of like, I'm assuming that's where the story is going to continue from, because CDPR has said that Geralt is alive in this timeline. It's not so long after the events of Witcher 3. So it's kind of almost right after picking up, I would say. But maybe there's been a little while, but not a lot of time, I would assume, because they do need to put Ciri in a way that she's not so experienced. She's fresh. We also can't forget her connection to the multiverse, right? There are hints that Witcher 4 might explore new realms or timelines. I don't know if you guys remember, but there is in Witcher 3, she does mention that while she was like multiverse hopping, she ended up in a like a futuristic city, which undoubtedly sounds like Cyberpunk Night City. So, who knows? Maybe she just hopped on there for a bit. Anyway, I'm not saying that Cyberpunk and Witcher's gonna connect, but it could be something that they might explore, but within what makes sense for the Witcher story. And she's literally the one person who can hop between worlds. That opens up a crazy amount of storytelling potential, from alternate realities to entirely new species and factions we haven't seen before. With CDPR confirming that this is the start of a new saga, Ciri feels like the perfect bridge. She's both familiar and fresh, a legacy character stepping into the spotlight with a new purpose. Having said all of that, it does bring the question, how do you build a whole game around Ciri's powers? Like I mentioned before, she's insanely overpowered. Ciri's powers in Witcher 3 were absolutely nuts, and she could blink around like a teleporting ninja and dodge everything and basically delete enemies in an instant. That's super fun, but how do you build an entire game around that without making it boring or too easy? It looks like CDPR is dialing her back just a little. Still fast, still flashy, but with some new mechanics like a chain whip for mid-range. There's a new sign ability. Maybe there's a whole bunch of new sign abilities that we just don't know about yet. There's some speculation going on about that. There's a lot of range attacks involved with Ciri to sort of balance out that overpoweredness. They're going for a more skill-based feel. Won't be able to just spam teleport to win every fight. That's a step in the right direction. And if you have played Witcher 3 And the Ciri segments, you know how fast she can be, right? I mean, this is speculative and based on rumors out there. They're saying the game might lean more into fast-paced combos and less clunky swordplay like with Geralt, like the Devil May Cry-ish, but in the Witcher universe. I know Devil May Cry is a lot more light and spammy, you know, combo-based attacks. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying it's gonna feel a little bit lighter because Ciri is a smaller character, much faster than Geralt. So this does open up possibilities for layered combat. These can all be a part of the new Ciri as Witcher experience if they nail it right. And I do trust CDPR would do justice to that because they've been making Witcher games forever now. So here's hoping. Another thing is there might even be new ways to traverse the world. Ciri can blink and teleport short distances. Maybe we'll see verticality play a big role. With Geralt, you couldn't really do all of that because he was a big buffy dude who was moving around and just, you know, flailing his sword, massive two swords everywhere. But with Ciri, you're gonna still see two swords because she's a Witcher now. But there will be a lot more lightness to the combat system and verticality because she can teleport everywhere. The only person who could teleport into rooftops in Witcher 3 was Roach. And I think in this game, you're going to see Ciri being able to sort of do those teleporting everywhere, add some verticality to the combat, which can actually spice things up a little. I would love to see that. All of that makes the core gameplay loop feel fresh. Let me know if you guys actually agree with me there and if you think that will be part of it. Something else to consider would be progression. We will see Ciri gain new abilities over time, maybe even choosing different power sets based on player choice, which is a given in a story like The Witcher. Maybe you'll spec into more stealthy roguelike build or go full glass cannon magic powerhouse. We don't know if they're going that route. In Witcher 3, you had more of a linear progression system in that sense. There might be more of a player choice based system in Witcher 4. If CDPR pulls off a modular upgrade system like that tied to the narrative, we could get a combat experience that feels personal as the story. Not to say they haven't been before, but this would add another layer to that. Not to mention the exploration part of it. It's going to get more dynamic. There are whispers, interdimensional travel being more than just a story mechanic. I don't know if this is true. This is again speculation, nothing confirmed here. So take it with a grain of salt. Think of like discovering areas that exist outside of space and time, or visiting shattered realms with their own rules. I don't know if we'll go into that in that detail. It could be like a gimmicky thing like, you know, Ratchet and Clank's Shattered Space or Space in Time or whatever. Shattered Space. Here's hoping that we get more details on that soon. If that does happen, that sounds absolutely wild. But it is on the table because it's Ciri we're talking about here. So the insane tech demo that they just released with Unreal Engine 5. It's a big deal. CD Projekt Red have been using their proprietary Red engine all this time, even up to Cyberpunk 2077. But for Witcher 4, they teamed up with Epic to use UE5. And I mean, if what we see in the tech demo is true, absolutely insane visuals. Not to say that their older games didn't look good. Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk, they look amazing. I mean, Cyberpunk obviously still looks bloody good for a game that's like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 years old. Witcher, for a game that is so old, still holds up to this day. If you boot it up right now, it doesn't look more than a couple of years old. So the Red engine was good, but Unreal Engine 5 could bring some serious next level visuals with the expertise from Epic and also the talent from CDPR. The tech demo they showed isn't just some abstract showcase though. It's set in the Witcher world, showing Ciri in action, snow-covered terrain and, you know, lush forest, not lush forest, but like dense forest, dynamic lighting and what looks like real-time weather effects. The little villages, they felt alive and full of people. Environments was so dense. The world looked like it was dripping with atmosphere and it was amazing. And no matter how close or far you were. And even NPCs seem to have better pathing. Maybe we'll finally stop seeing random NPCs walking into walls. I don't know, but it looks like they have a very complex NPC system in the game. Not in the game, in the tech demo they had, and that's something they could potentially integrate into Witcher 4. The tech demo environment was just a slice, so it can run very well. But when you do a whole open world and a whole ass game, the story can be very different. It could and you have to, the baseline is Xbox Series S. You have to make it work on Series S, and then consoles, the PC is a different story, but yeah, that's the benchmark, right? So it might not work. Who knows? If they can pull it off, I mean, absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. And also, when it runs on PC, it's the kind of graphics that'll make you want to install a second fan on your monitor, because it's absolutely insane. Lumen Tech allows for realistic light balance, giving the world a cinematic glow. Like I said, it's combining with nanite technology, a technology Unreal Engine 5 uses. I just know that it's a method that they use. The game doesn't have a heavy load when it comes to, loading textures that are far away opposed to close. It's more efficient system. It's a geometry streaming magic. You get near photorealistic detail without tanking performance this way. So that's why it's a huge deal. Devs are leveraging procedural generation tools. That doesn't mean the world will feel random. It just means they can build massive detailed environments without burning the team out. I am not sure to what extent they will be using that in the game, but it is a technology that now exists within UE5 that can be utilized. So there's that. One more thing, performance scaling. CDPR has said that they're working on making the game scalable for both high-end rigs and consoles, which is promising, which is awesome to hear. But I am cautiously optimistic about that part, because we know how Cyberpunk went down, which was very hyped, and it was in development for so freaking long. And when it was finally coming out, the hype was real, dude. And I mean, I bought the game straight up and couldn't run it on my PS4. I had a PS4 back then. I did not have a PC, and it could not run it. They bounced back from that, and now they've redeemed themselves. But I hope that they don't make that sort of mistake with Witcher 4. It's not a new thing for CDPR, I have to tell you, because even with Witcher 3, when it launched, it had a lot of bugs. Not to the same level as Cyberpunk. No, heck no. But Witcher 3 did have a lot of issues at launch, and people were mad. I remember people being very mad about that and, giving a lot of shit to CDPR. But they did fix it pretty quickly. I hope they don't pull another Cyberpunk. As long as they don't do that, I'm hopeful. We could also be seeing improvements in AI behavior and environmental storytelling. Villagers reacting to like dynamic weather or creatures. I mean, we've already seen some of that like to some level in other games, but it could be a little bit more realistic. It could react to you in a more realistic way. NPCs reacting to you when you pass by, you bump into them, that sort of thing. Very interesting if they can pull that out in the game. This is just a tech demo, so take that with a grain of salt. Have you wondered why people are so hot and bothered and absolutely losing their shit about Witcher 4? It's because Witcher 3 was so freaking good. It wasn't just a good game. It was considered, I mean, most of us, maybe some of us, consider it the RPG of the last decade. It was a huge open world, absolutely memorable quest. I mean, I'm talking about side quests here, not the main game. The side quests were so bloody memorable and had real consequences to your choices, and expansions that were better than the most full games. Blood and Wine expansion, the Tucson expansion, amazing. They were so amazing. CDPR really hit that high note with this game, and they did deliver that again with Cyberpunk DLC with the Liberty City. They really put the standard high with that game. They either need to match it or they need to go beyond that with Witcher 4. That's why people are absolutely losing their shit about this. Yeah, I know. Like I said, they stumbled hard with the Cyberpunk's launch, but they did bounce back and they earned some of that trust back. Fans are hyped for Witcher 4 because it feels like CDPR is back on track now, especially after the Liberty City, the Phantom Liberty DLC. They're doing things smarter this time. I think they're being more careful and they're making decisions more carefully now. Witcher 4 in most ways is kind of like a soft reboot. It's a sequel, don't get me wrong, it's definitely a sequel, it's a continuation of the story, which won't be a bad thing. It will be a good thing if done right. Witcher world still feels very relevant, especially with the TV show. I mean, let's not talk about, you know, Henry Cavill's departure and Liam Hemsworth being the Witcher now. You know, that TV show was also pretty good, at least for the first season or two. That actually put the Witcher, whole lore of Witcher on the map, and it became mainstream. So there's a lot more expectation going into Witcher 4 because a lot more people know about this game now and probably want to try. Plus the devs are saying all the right things at the moment. They're being more transparent with the development cycle, giving us updates earlier and not rushing the release, which is fantastic to see. I mean, they did learn their lesson, it seems. And hopefully that means more polished launch and a smoother rollout. I can only hope. There's even speculation that we could see some open world systems inspired by Elden Ring, like optional zones, hidden boss fights, and layered lore can piece together through exploration. Combine that with The Witcher's mature themes and world building, that's a win, right? That's absolutely a win if that is the case. Elden Ring's making a lot of developers inspired these days. Even the likes of Neil Druckmann saying that the intergalactic The Heretic Prophet is going to be inspired by Elden Ring. Do what you will with that information. Alright, so how is the fan base taking all this, you might wonder? It's a bit of a mix at the moment, I feel. I feel like there's a whole bunch of people who are genuinely excited for Witcher 4. Whatever it may be, they're going to give it a chance because they just love Witcher and they can just take more Witcher. They would take more, just like me, I would take more Witcher any day. But some people are very skeptical about the direction that CDPR are taking because Ciri being the main lead, and you know, also the fact that they're switching to Unreal Engine 5, which can cause a lot of issues. I know a lot of PC players are not a fan of UE5, so there's a lot of caution there. They love Ciri, they love her story, and they see this as a natural step forward. Even if they do that, you're gonna miss Geralt and think Witcher with him isn't really Witcher, so there's a little bit of that as well. And there's also questions about whether or not Geralt will be returning to the story. We only been told that Geralt is alive in this timeline. I did see some news where, what's the guy's name? John Cockle or something? I forgot his name. The voice actor for Geralt has been signed into the project, so which is a surefire sign that he's going to be making some sort of a cameo. However, there's no news about whether or not Yennefer's going to be part of it. I would really like to see Yennefer being back in the game at some capacity because, you know, it's Yennefer, dude. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. It'll feel weird if Geralt is there but not Yennefer, so I'm hoping she's also going to be part of it in some way or the other. But CDPR has been very clear. This is a new saga. Geralt's story is done, which we know. He's still alive, but not the main guy anymore. He's retired. Ciri is the future, and there's going to be at least two more games with Ciri in it. Geralt's probably in Tucson somewhere, as we know, sipping wine, doing yoga. Fans who played Witcher 3 to the end understand Geralt's arc is complete, is what I'm saying. He got closure. Ciri, meanwhile, has a destiny that's still wide open. Endless possibilities to explore, and that's exactly what CDPR is doing, which makes complete sense to me. But if you don't agree with me, please let me know in the comments below. Let's have a talk. From what we're seeing, most fans are coming around though. The cinematic trailer alone sparked a ton of excitement. I know it did to me. Ciri's redesign does look badass, okay? There, I said it. It looks pretty freaking badass to me, but some people have a problem with how she looks, and a lot of people seem to think that she's ugly now. I don't know, dude. I just think she looks a bit older than the game Witcher 3. You know? She looks a little bit older, and her facial features are more fleshed out and detailed. It was a cinematic trailer to begin with. Witcher 3 came out like 10 years ago, dude. And the graphics we're used to seeing with Ciri's character model is so old. It still holds up to this day, true, but it's not as detailed. if you really dig into the details of like character models, they're not that detailed like the games are today. So I don't know. I think she looks fine. Again, if you don't agree with me, please let me know in the comments below and tell me why you don't agree with me. I would love to hear from you. Geralt is definitely going to make a cameo too. Maybe he might be part of the story in some way. Who knows? Jennifer, I hope so. I hope it's more than a snarky one-liner from Geralt.
Winds howling.
Hope it's a little bit more than that. That they go the route of Spider-Man No Way Home with the other Spider-Man being integral to the plot. I hope Geralt has a arc in the game that is sort of integral to Ciri's storyline. But yeah, that'll be the perfect blend of old and new if that happens, and fans would eat that shit right up. I hope that happens. I really hope that happens. The point is, this isn't a replacement, it's an evolution. That's what you need to know. And the more CDPR shows us that, the more on board people are going to be. That's where we're at right now with Witcher 4. There you have it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you are not liking the direction that Witcher 4 is taking, let me know why. Let's talk about it. And if you're excited to see more of Witcher, let me know that too. We'll talk about that. Let's get that conversation going in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button and give me a sub. I really appreciate it. If you already done that, I freaking love you already. Thank you for supporting me, and thank you for sticking around this long to watch this video. This is a long one, so you're still here. You're a legend. Thank you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.
Witcher 4, you're the spark in the dark. We're following portals, chasing that mark. New blood, new voice, but still that bite. Is it just hype, or the next game of our life? Oh, Witcher 4, we're rooting for you. A series leading the charge. That's a good crew, so ride with me into this wild new lore. Let's find out together. Is it Witcher 4 or Witcher more? Or Witcher more? Or Witcher more?